Hey guys, what's up? It's Cam here. I just want to hop on here for a few minutes and share with you guys how 75 Hard has impacted my life and the changes that have been made. Also, I want to share how I succeeded throughout 75 Hard, how I conquered 75 Hard, how I took control of 75 Hard, and really made the most of it. So, to get started, I'm out here on my daily walk, first of all. On day 74, by the way, so I got one more day. It's not over yet. But to get started, there's 5 things you have to do every single day. And the first thing you have to do is take a picture. Now, taking a picture is the easiest thing you have to do, but because it's easy, you also have to remember to do it, make it a priority. Things that are easy are usually easy to forget. So, in order to be successful in this area, I just made it the first thing I do every morning. I wake up, I go to the bathroom, like I take a piss, I get on the scale, I weigh myself, and I take my picture every single day. So after I did that for about a week or two, like it was normal. I literally would wake up, kind of have a sleep, trying to wake myself up and like stumble into the bathroom and just take a picture in the mirror of me flexing. So taking a picture every day, simple, but you have to implement that time, right? You have to make that certain time every day so you don't forget, because it's easy to go throughout your day, fall asleep, and then be like, oh, I never took a picture today. And that's part of 75 Hard. So if you miss that, that could be the thing that trips you up. And that would just be super unfortunate. So I had to put that in my schedule. I also, in the morning is when you're like your true body weight, before you eat, before you sweat, before you drink a bunch of water and stuff. So I get your true physique, how you look first thing in the morning. So I like to do that. I could see some people taking their daily progress picture in the mirror at the gym, like after they did their workout, when they're pumped up, they look really good. I think for day 75, I'm going to do a morning picture and then also a gym picture just to document, because when I have a pump, obviously I'll look bigger, better, whatever, not whatnot, right? So you also have to drink a gallon of water. It's very self-explanatory. You have to drink a gallon of water every single day. So in between when I wake up and in between when I go to bed, I consume a gallon of water in between there, regardless. I usually crush it. I usually am done with the gallon by like 6 p.m. And then I'm obviously drinking more water for the night. And this is one thing that is very, very underrated. And even if you're not someone who is going to like do 75 Hard, drinking a gallon of water every single day is only ever going to make you feel much better, especially if you're someone who's drinking alcohol and stuff like that. Getting that water in your system, being completely hydrated, your workouts, your mind, everything's going to feel better, man. When you work out, you're going to sweat. It's going to feel good. You're going to be working hard. So water is essential. Water makes everything better. In the gym, when I'm breathing heavy, after a hard set, water makes me feel better all the time. And now it's important to throw in there that you should be replenishing your electrolytes, because you're going to be outside doing outdoor workouts, right? So that was a huge focus when I was doing my extreme cardio events, whether it was my 50 miles that I did within a 2-day period or my half marathon. Like, those electrolytes were super, super vital to my success, because if you're only drinking water and there's no vitamins or electrolytes in there, it just literally goes through your body. Like, you need the shit in your body, the sodium, stuff like that, to absorb that water and hold it in your body. It's going to make you feel way better, right? A lot of smaller people have trouble drinking a gallon of water just because it's so much. But if you map it out and you plan it, right? Because, okay, so there's this thing, it goes, failing to prepare is preparing to fail, right? If I get my English right. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So if you just want to start 75 Hard and you don't really have a game plan and you're just like, oh, I got to drink a gallon of water a day, how the hell are you going to keep track of how much water you drank, right? So what I did is I bought a water bottle that I surprisingly had with me throughout all of 75 Hard, which is cool. And I didn't lose it, which is awesome, because it's like a sentimental thing. It's like, this bottle has seen everything, you know what I mean? There's dents in it, the stickers are falling off of it. It's just been through a lot with me throughout 75 Hard. But The water bottle is 40 ounces. A gallon is 128 ounces. So 3 of those water bottles adds up to 120 ounces. And then I just need to consume 8 more ounces of water to hit a gallon. So I literally would be like, have moments throughout my day where I'm like, this water bottle should be gone. Okay, number 2 should be gone. That's how I was successful. And I get to the end, or like get to the last bottle by like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. some days. And I know I just need to drink the rest of this water. That's all I need to do, to hit a gallon. And I'm a person that drinks a lot in general, whether it's water, like I drink a lot of sparkling water, a lot of electrolyte beverages like vitamin water, body armor, all that shit. So that really helps me because it's easy for me. But if you're someone who struggles, make sure you map that out, all right? Make sure you mapped it out and you plan when to drink water, because like at night, if you forget to read, if you forgot to read throughout your day, so you need to read before bed, or you forgot to take your pictures, so you got to take your picture before bed, or you got to go work out before bed. These are all things that you can do. The only thing you can't do before bed is drink a gallon of water, because it is going to, that's so bad, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to put yourself in that position where you're basically drowning yourself because you forgot or you failed to plan. So the next thing with 75 hard out of the 5 is read 10 pages of a book. Now, the book has to be nonfiction, self-motivational type deal, something that's going to give you fuel. So say you reading a book on nature is nonfiction, right? But that's not going to be growing your mind. That's not going to be pushing you mentally, right? It's going to be growing your mind, obviously. You're going to be learning a lot of cool shit. But you want something written by someone who is driven and who is on the next level that you desire to be on. So for example, I read both of David Goggins' books, and I'm on a Tim Grover book right now called Relentless. And all these books have been very motivating to me and pushing me, wow, I'm in 75 hard, in the midst of battle, I'm being fueled by these words and these thoughts of others who have done great things. So I think the readings, and I don't say this lightly, I think the readings, I would credit almost 40% of my mindset and my mind growth from the 40 or from the readings, if not even 50%, because if I had not picked up those books and I was doing 75 hard, yeah, I still would have killed 75 hard, no doubt about that. But the mindset to push myself, when I decided to run 50 miles within 41 hours, or when I decided to push myself to do a half marathon, or when I ran 14 miles the day after my half marathon just because I wanted to prove to myself that I'm a bad motherfucker. All these things that I really didn't need to do, right, to pass 75 hard, but I wanted to do. And it comes from that fuel that you're putting in your mind, right? And it's a simple saying, man, garbage in, garbage out. So if you're fueling your body, if you're fueling your mind with good shit, things that are going to make you better, things that are going to make you tougher, things that are going to make you want to push yourself, you're going to do that. That's going to result in your actions. Your actions are going to show all that shit. Versus, not during 75 hard, but even in a normal everyday life, if you're putting poisonous things into your mind, whether it be whatever it may be on the internet, or just scrolling through things that don't matter, filling up your brain with empty shit, it's going to result in how you live too, right? So picking those books, I'm coming to the end of Relentless. So about 3 books for me, an average size book, I guess. So 3 books is what 75 hard is taken up. I think I'll have 1 chapter left the day after I complete 75 hard. I might try to squeeze it in just so I can end my books at the same when 75 hard ends, because I think that's kind of cool. But I also got a lot more that I want to read now that I've gotten in this routine that 75 hard has helped me establish, right? So reading, super important. That's where your brain fuel is going to come from. And that's what's going to hold you down and hold you tight when it's you make it to, if you make it to day 20, I feel if someone started 75 hard, there's no statistic or science behind this. I didn't look this up. But just from understanding how people work and my own struggles, I feel like most people could do 75 hard for about 2 weeks. So I think like probably the 15-day to like 40-day range, that in between that gap is probably where it would be tempting to maybe, hey, maybe this isn't for me. Hey, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. But I think anyone that sticks through 40 days is kind of in it to win it. You know what I mean? You don't do anything for 40 days, just not to finish it. Unless you convince yourself that 40 days is enough to get out of it what I needed to get out of it. But it's definitely not. I promise you. All my major changes in 75 hard in my mind have taken place after like day 45, day 50. So stick with it, stay motivated if you're gonna do it. If not, it's cool. But so that was my books, right? So now the diet part. Oh, this is fun. So I credit the books to a big mindset thing, right? That fuels your mind. The diet is probably the most disciplined part for me, right? And I'd probably say for most people. And the reason I say this is because like the fifth step obviously is working out, and I'll talk about that. But I love working out. I love working out. Working out's my favorite thing in the world. So the workouts weren't a struggle for me. Now, for someone who doesn't like working out, maybe workouts will be more of a struggle for you than sticking to a diet. I don't know. But it was never hard for me to stick to the diet, right? It was never actually hard for me. It's a choice. I made a choice to stick to a diet so I don't eat certain shit. Makes sense, right? So it was never hard for me to stick to the diet because I was so concerned all the time about messing it up that literally before I consumed anything, I would like make sure I was able to eat it. And I did the carnivore diet. I want to throw this out here. The diet part is kind of like you pick what you want to do, but it doesn't have to be a pre-established diet. It can literally just be a food plan that works for you, right? So I could have been like, I'm going to do a diet where I have to hit 3,000 some calories a day because I want to get huge, you know, I want to get swole. But I knew for me, the mental toughness side of things is going to be number one, like shredding, leaning down, because as I'm working out, as I'm doing all these things, like I want to see the difference. You know what I mean? I want to see how like lean and mean I can get. So I chose carnivore diet, which is, it's a very, very like strict diet. When you do it for 75 days, it's a long time. It's a long time. But here's the thing. When you choose your diet, you have to adjust what you're going to adjust before you start 75 hard so that you're not making exceptions based off your mental weakness in 75 hard, if that makes sense. So for instance, if I did a carnivore diet, so I'm doing meat, eggs, dairy products, so yogurt and cheese, right? But I had to cut out, I decided not to do like soft cheeses. So like cream cheese, don't eat that. Cottage cheese, don't like it, but I don't eat that anyways. And then those soft cheeses were never part of the diet. I could have got bored. I could have been like, I can have cream cheese. Technically it's dairy, but I set that standard off the bat when I started 75 hard that I was not going to include that. So I never included it. And on the opposite end, I made a rule that I'm going to consume. The airplane's flying overhead. That's kind of cool. That I'm going to consume electrolyte beverages that have electrolytes in them, right? So Body Armor has electrolytes in it, has vitamins in it. It's great for you. But then it also, you know, is fruit flavored or has fruit in it or whatever. But I established this before I started. I was like, so I'm going to drink vitamin water, but I'm going to do 0 sugar. So I'm going to try to stick as low as I can with this sugar. So this led me to, like, I drink protein shakes. That was going to be part of my diet. But the protein shake only includes 1 gram of sugar, right? So now I'm drinking protein shakes that have 1 gram of sugar. Like if an energy drink has like no sugar, I drink that too, right? But all of these things that I did were set in place before I started. That's what matters. Like, create whatever the fuck diet you want. I don't care. But don't be the person that's like, you're on your diet and you say no desserts. And then you eventually convince yourself that, well, ice cream's a dairy product, so technically it's not like, no, that bullshit doesn't fly. That completely destroys the point of 75 hard. So I encourage you, if you do it, or even in your workout plans, like, be specific, because whenever you make something like this, you want to stick to it and stay true to who you are. You don't want to get weak and start to bend and break, right? Whether you're trying to bulk up or lean out or whatever it may be, whether you're doing 75 hard or just going to the gym every day to be healthy, decide what you're going to do and then stick to it. That's the point, man. So any diet plan, any meal plan, however you want to do it, it's up to you, but you have to stick to it. No breaking it for 75 days. A lot of people talk about carnivore. There's a lot of like trash talk on carnivore. I'm not really aware of it because I don't care. But there's a lot of trash talk about carnivore. And honestly, I have thrived on carnivore. Now, I'm someone who like loves the mental challenge and the mental fitness side of things. I love that shit. So I knew carnivore was going to be hard, and I knew like running a half marathon on the carnivore diet or running 50 miles while I'm on the carnivore diet this is all going to be fucking crazy. It's all going to be hard. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got enough calories in my body to do this shit. But that's what like made it so much more interesting to me. And I mean, at that point when I was doing these runs and stuff that long on the carnivore diet, I was doing it long enough. I wasn't being reckless. You know what I mean? Like, I had been doing it for over a month and a half. I know how my body felt on it, right? So the first week, 2 weeks drag, right? Because you start 75 hard, and obviously your body's adjusting to the diet, the lack of carbs, the lack of sugar in my diet. Like, I remember at one point, I remember looking at my vitamin gummies, and that was the thing that I was taking that had the most sugar in it throughout the whole entire day. And I'm like, dude, this is like the shit that's supposed to be healthy for you. And it's like the one thing out of my whole entire diet that has like actual, obviously other things have like a little sugar, but it had like 3 grams of sugar or some shit. And I was like, what in the world? Like, I'm out here eating meat, cheese, and eggs, you know what I mean? And then my gummies are like my dessert. Like, what is going on? So my body slowly adjusts to carnivore. It actually didn't take that long, about a week and a half, to where I started to feel pretty good. I remember certain landmarks throughout 75 hard where they stick in my head. Like, it was day number 12 or whatever, when I went to work and I told people, yeah, I'm kind of in my routine, but at this point, and people make jokes like, what do you mean? Like, you're not even in it yet. You know what I mean? Like, you still got 2 months to go or whatever. Like, they make comments like that. But by day 12, I had my routine set and planned. So I didn't mind doing everything very robotically, I guess is the way to explain it. Day like 21 through 24 or 25 was an absolute drag. I don't know why. Probably more mental. But day 26, I remember waking up feeling like $1,000,000. And day 26 is when everything actually changed for me. Day 26, it was like in a video game, when you like unlock the next level and you like can make your character stronger or faster or whatever, right? To nerd out on you guys. It was like that. That's how day 26 was. And I woke up and I finally got it. I was like, I get it now, man. Like, I felt like I haven't felt in so long. So day 26 changed everything. Going forward, after day 26, because everything changed, I didn't want to stop. Like, there was no ever like, well, first of all, I did a pretty good job with saying like, I'm going to do it, so I'm doing it. I'm not going to make up excuses. But day 26 on is like, oh baby, like, we're not just going to do 75 hard. We're going to like see how hard 75 hard can be and how much we can really get out of it. From then on, felt amazing. Everything going well. I used to have knee pain, like bad, like I could barely run. And I don't know if I credit it to carnivore. I don't know if I credit it to my mental toughness and my mindset on the whole thing. I don't know if I credit to the exercise. I just started doing exercises and then my knee got back into shape or stronger. I don't know. But that pain pretty much went away. Like I had days where I would run 14 miles. You know what I mean? You don't do that on an injured knee, really. But through my mind and just really not giving a fuck anymore, I was like, I'm not going to use this knee as an excuse to not be the best I can be. And I just push myself. Now, sometimes it still aches when I'm sitting down, but who gives a shit, right? That's not like, it's not going to hold me back pretty much. So I started doing all those things. I started feeling better. And then as you go on through 75 hard, you just progress and grow. And at around day 50, I went home to Pennsylvania to visit my family. It was cool because I got the refreshing. It was refreshing to see my family, but it was also cool because that was kind of the first time on 75 hard that I really had to like figure it the fuck out. Because you know, when you're living your everyday life in your house and you got your schedule and you got your job or your school, it's easy, man. You just like get in a routine and you keep doing it. Like, it's not hard. You know, some days it's gonna be fucking raining outside. Some days, you know, you had to stay late at school, so now you're doing your outdoor workout at 11 p.m. Like, it's not hard. But going home to Pennsylvania, like a 10-hour road trip, stuff like that, really forced me to be self-disciplined and get shit done. I remember we were going on a trip with my family and we were leaving at like 6 a.m. And I was like, well, in order to get my fucking workout done, I need to get up at like 4. You know what I mean? I need to go get after it. So I'm out on the streets of my hometown at like 3:45 in the morning running 8 miles, because that's, by that point in the day 50, day 51, day 52, whatever, I was on that level mentally that nothing mattered to me. It doesn't matter if I only get 3 hours of sleep. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that I execute what I need to do. So did that. That was the one big challenge that I had when it comes to like actually scheduling my shit. And last thing I have to do, and this is probably, I would guess, for the majority of people, because the majority of people that do 75 hard, unfortunately, probably aren't trying. Hopefully you are, but a lot of people don't want to really put themselves through hell for 75 days with the diet. So I feel like they'll usually try to find a diet that's like kind of okay, easy, has a little cheats here and there or whatever. Like, it's bullshit. But because of that, I feel like most people would struggle with the working out part. And so you have to work out twice a day, 2 times, twice a day. Each time has to be 45 minutes. Okay. So, you know, you can do your indoor workout in the gym, but then you got to get outside for 45 minutes, right? One has to be outside. So you can't just like go to the gym for an hour and a half and be like, oh, I'm done for the day. Like, no, there has to be that outdoor element. I think the reason why they incorporated that in 75 hard is because it makes you realize that like nature don't give a fuck about you. And some days it's going to be raining. Some days it's going to be cold as shit. Some days it's going to be hot as hell, right? Days where you got to run with a water bottle in your hand and shit. Or a bladder on your back or whatever you choose. And also, there's so much science to back up like how getting outdoors and breathing in fresh air or grounding your feet actually has, or sunlight too, man, it's crazy, has a huge impact on your mental health and your physical health too as a person. So that's a cool part. But a lot of people find it hard to even work out once a day, you know? So now you're asking someone to work out twice a day. So when a lot of people see 75 hard challenge, I think they think to themselves, oh, this doesn't look that bad. But then they see the 2 times a day part and the game starts to change a little bit. Now, the outside part doesn't have to be a crazy run every single day. If you ran 5 miles every single day for 75 days, like, cool. You're on a different level, man, because that would be crazy, right? So it just has to be outside. So I have done runs. I've done rucks. Those of you guys who don't know what rucks are, put a heavy ass backpack on your back and walk. I've done plain old walks around the neighborhood, plain old walks in the morning to get the sunlight in my eyes, and whatever it may be. I've done circuits, including push-ups, sit-ups, burpees, stuff like that. I've had very few, but I did have some stretching days where I literally had ran a ton a day before, or am running the next day, and I would spend my 45 minutes outside stretching. I'm still outside, still doing some physical activity. Maybe it's not so cardiovascular focused, but it's still outside, so you get it done. So when someone says, oh, I don't know if I can do this, literally you could start every single day by waking up and getting outside and going for a walk for 45 minutes. And that's your outdoor workout. Hit the gym later in the day. Whatever works for you. And then obviously that second workout, or that first workout, however you do your schedule, is preferably going to be in the gym. Doesn't have to be, but I find it a lot more mentally motivating, just as someone who loves the gym. But trying to work out in your garage or your living room for 75 days isn't going to work. So getting that gym, going to the gym, checking into the gym, like putting on your gym shoes, putting in your headphones, all of these things are mental things that tie into all that can actually help you succeed and just be excited to go to the gym. Getting some caffeine in your system, make you feel really good, whatever it may be. So those are the 5 things you have to do. Take a picture, drink a gallon of water, read a book, stick to a diet, work out twice a day. Now, that's what's required in order to do 75 hard. So I'm here recording this on day 74. Tomorrow is Friday, and it is my 75th day. I've done all of that shit every single day for 75 days, and it has greatly impacted, or severely or extremely impacted my life, how I think, and just who I am as a person. I could talk about it forever, but my view on alcohol is probably the biggest change that I like to talk about, because I never really consider myself someone who is like had an addiction or a dependency. But as 75 hard went on, and I learned, like, hey, I need to be real as fuck. Like, I need to be real with myself so I can be better, so I can like grow, so I can change. Like, there are things that I've been telling myself, like even stupid shit, that I'm like, this ain't it, man. This isn't how you're gonna make it, So one of those things was admitting that, yes, obviously I have some type of alcohol consumption problem. Whether it might not even be like that I'm relying on it. It might not even be that I'm addicted to it or dependent on it at all, right? It may just be like, hey, I'm a rowdy person in general, so when I consume alcohol, I just get crazy, right? Whatever it may be, but I need to be honest with myself with that. And a lot of people knew me, like when they thought of me, I think they thought about alcohol too, which is like, it is what it is. But now that I've gone through 75 hard, I've realized that it's not even necessarily more for me about the physical things that it does to your body, like affects your liver, like it inhibits you building muscle, right? But more so the mental side of things, right? Like, I've experienced moments in my life where I feel almost mentally unstable, but after like learning about it, doing 75 hard, really focusing on myself, you realize that alcohol impacts your sleep, right? And as a young human being, or no matter what age you are, sleep is so important. And some like a 24-year-old male, that's like mental illness in young men, like usually comes around about like 22, 23 to like 28, in that age range, right? So like young males, like I'm right in that window. I'm not getting quality sleep because I'm drinking so much, I fucking pass out. And then I wake up and I'm like, damn, I slept like a rock last night. But you don't sleep like a rock because your body is working on getting the alcohol out of your system, and your brain can't repair your body in the proper way it's supposed to. So now I became not only like was I drinking so much and intoxicated a lot of the time, and I'm not saying like I wasn't a person that like drank in the morning on the way to work and shit because I needed to. I didn't have any like severe shaking going on. I was just someone who would like every single night would crack open 6 to 8 beers because that was what I got used to, or at least the alcohol content equivalent of that, right? Whether it might be two tall boys, but they're 9% alcohol, you're still on the same level, right? So I was consuming a lot of alcohol, but also sleep deprived as hell. And I didn't understand the sleep deprived part and how much that ties into your mental health, because if you're not sleeping well, and this is where around day 26 I was talking, I was like, well, around day 26 I started to feel like $1,000,000, but why did I feel like $1,000,000? And then I realized like I felt like $1,000,000 in the morning because I'm waking up from this great sleep, this sleep where my body truly rests, truly recover. I feel amazing. And by no means am I saying this to be preachy, but so many people out there complain about having anxiety or depression, or they feel like they're young adults, and they're like going through this like hard time where sometimes you feel like you're on the brink of like a mental breakdown and stuff. And it's like, well, here's the thing, man. And this is just the truth. You don't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it back then, right? But if you're consuming a substance, alcohol, marijuana, some type of pill, nicotine even, right? Although nicotine can have beneficial effects. But besides the point, if you're consuming a substance and you're struggling with these problems, you shouldn't be wondering why you're struggling with these problems. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've learned through 75 Hard. It's like, oh, I'm anxious all the time. Oh, I'm depressed, blah, 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 blah. Hey, do you drink alcohol? Yeah, of course I do. I drink like every night with my friends. I go out and party. Okay, cool. Now I know why. Like I know why you're depressed. And it's not always that extreme, right? Some people are diagnosed with mental illness of like depression or whatever it may be, but it definitely plays a role. If you cut all that out, you're out here doing 75 Hard, get to day 75, and you're still depressed as shit, well, then go to the doctor, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, because I guarantee you, if you're out here doing these things, you ain't going to be depressed by the end of 75 Hard. You ain't going to be anxious by the end of 75 Hard. You're going to be a stone cold motherfucker that's been getting shit done, dude. That's what you're going to be. And it's badass, right? So that's the thing. My view on substances have changed a lot, right? I don't think people shouldn't do it if they want to. Like, live your life to the fullest, right? Because that's where I was before I started 75 Hard, and I've talked about this a little bit before in other platforms. But essentially, during 75 Hard is like, once I start this, like, I know me, like, I'm killing this shit. And after that, I'm not done, man. I'm like just enhanced to the next level, just upgraded to the next level. So I'm not stopping that. But I knew when I chose to do 75 Hard that all that drinking, all that partying, all that having fun, chasing girls and whatnot was going to be over. Like, it was done. I was done doing that shit just because it's a waste of time. It's bullshit. It really is. And like, some people don't see it that way because they think it's so much fun, but deep down inside, probably depressed, right? So I think going out drinking is a waste of time. And I'm not a fan of looking back and realizing how much of an idiot I've made of myself over the year and a half, 2 years of just drinking all the time. My memory wasn't that great. You know, I did things that I wish I didn't. I said a lot of things I wish I hadn't said. I've even physically like hit things like the wall or whatever. Not like a Kyle, right? I didn't punch no holes in the wall, but I'd have moments where I was intoxicated and just being dumb. Like, well, why the hell would I ever do that, right? And that's just be vulnerable with you guys. But since 75 Hard, like, yeah, I don't want to go out till 2 a.m. drinking, right? Because gross, you know? Like, I need to get to bed so I can train tomorrow and be better. And that has changed a lot. Reading has definitely enhanced just how I think overall, because when I didn't realize, like, when you're reading, you're like consuming other people's thoughts, and then they marinate in your head, right? So I have all these thoughts in my head, whether it's something David Goggins said, or Tim Grover said about like who I could truly be, like my true potential, like rise up and kill that shit. You know what I mean? And so I think about that all the time. Reading has really changed my mindset, and now I've actually have like a list of waiting. You know, I have a list of books that I want to read, right? And I can't read them fast enough, so I can get to the next one. So that was huge. And then the obvious one that everyone wants to talk about is the gains, the gym, the runs. What's up with it? So coming from me, here's the thing that 75 Hard really did for me. I used to be very, very serious about my physical training when it came to like a bodybuilding style lifting, just because I was into that. I love that shit. Look up to Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder, a lot, and other bodybuilders that have been great over time. Now, when I got more into alcohol and was drinking a lot, I still would go to the gym every single day, pretty much. I really would. And that was a self-discipline robot part of me that, like, I worked out in the gym for my own mental health. So I still go to the gym, but once I started drinking so much, my gains, they plateaued hard, right? They plateaued very hard. I looked the same or even smaller for a long time. I got a job as a server at a restaurant over the summer, so now I'm working as many hours as I can, and I'm not really eating. I'm going to the gym, I'm going out to the bar, staying up till 2 a.m., and I'm not really eating throughout the day. So what's that do to your body? It brings you back down. It brings you down, makes you skinny or fat, depending on your metabolism or your age or whatnot. For me, I just started to get like a little skinny fat on my midsection, but I started to lose size in my arms and my shoulders, and you can see that in my day one picture of my progress pictures, right? I'm just like, there's no definition. I'm just kind of a guy, right? And when I used to be pretty yoked, and I miss that, man. So 75 Hard has allowed me to reset my mind, become more mentally tough, more focused, kind of hit the reset button and get ready to chase after the goals that I have in fitness or in bodybuilding or whatever it may be. Because now, you know, I really do think like alcohol holds so many people back, man. So many people are held back because they drink or they smoke weed or whatever it may be. Addicted to pills or whatever, you know. And when you can conquer something like that, like if you're struggling with that, here's something I want to say loosely, like, or very seriously, not loosely. If you're struggling with something like that, do not be discouraged. Don't think you're a failure, because that's an opportunity for you to win, man. That's an opportunity for you to rise up and conquer that shit. And I'm telling you, nothing in the world is going to boost your self-confidence like overcoming something that you're acting like you don't have a problem with, right? Like you've been faking it this whole time, being like, oh, I don't got a drinking problem. And everyone around you is like, or I don't smoke weed way too much. And everyone around you is like, And then finally you start to work on yourself. You'd be like, I used to drink so much, and you conquer that shit. You get your confidence back, man. You get who you truly are back in your own hands. Like your life is back in your hands. It's not in the hands of like a substance that you're relying on to calm you down or make you feel happy. Like, fuck all that, right? But the workouts are great. I leaned down hard, man. I went from like 178 probably to like 165. 163 at my lowest, and before 75 Hard, probably like 180 at my highest. So I fluctuated within a 15-pound range, which is kind of crazy. My body fat percentage has dropped significantly lower from all the running I've been doing. But like I said, I was willing to sacrifice some of that muscle that I would burn, right? Because my diet or whatever, doing high cardio on like a no carb diet, gonna like burn my fat, but then also burn some muscle. And I was okay with that because I'm willing to sacrifice my physical appearance at the moment because I know what it's doing to my mind And what it's doing to my mind is preparing my mind to make my physical appearance look however I want it to, because now my mindset's there. Now everything has changed. The game has changed. I'm back, baby. Aunkst 2032, you know? But we'll see, man. Change, man. The thing is like, people around you usually are going to be like polite to you. They're not really going to tell you need to get your shit together. That's something that I learned in my critical thinking class, but it's also kind of just basic human manners, right? No one's going to, someone might be like, hey, you should probably start working out to lose weight, but no one's going to be like, hey man, you need to do 75 hard to get your shit back together. Or you need to do 75 hard to reconstruct your fucked up mind, dude. Like, you need to do something, right? They might tell you need a diet to lose some weight, or if you want to get big, you got to work out twice a day or whatever it may be. And while I'm not like on my knees worshiping 75 hard, I simply am an example of what the challenge can result in, what the challenge can actually do to someone. And I'm thankful that I decided to do it. I really am. But I'm glad that I struggled before I started 75 hard, because I feel like if I was someone like I am now and I started 75 hard, like, yeah, I'd get after it. I'd just do what I need to do. Being someone who is struggling in a lot of areas, whether it might be like my identity, all right, because I'm like a young 20-year-old dude that came out of the military, left religion behind, like lost his fuck, right? So struggling with identity, struggling with alcohol usage and knowing how to manage that, struggling with relationships, in a toxic relationship for a really long time, on and off. So like all of these things that I didn't really consciously understand or know. And through 75 Hard, I've had the beautiful opportunity of witnessing myself change, kind of like I'm watching a movie on my own life. It's like, I'm a different motherfucker, man. I don't even feel like the same person at all, right? And that's the beautiful thing about it, man. It 100% changes everything, right? And if you're someone who is doing great in your life, amazing. I want the best for you always. 75 Hard can still help you develop better self-discipline, help you achieve those goals, you know? Like, I literally try more on my schoolwork now because of 75 Hard. You know what I mean? Like, my mind has changed to that side of things. As I say that, you know, skipping class today, you know, whatever. But like, I mean, like the effort I'm putting forth towards my work and stuff. But yeah, man, 75 Hard, life changing. I didn't really want to post this video necessarily to tell people like, oh, you gotta go do 75 Hard, right? This is almost more for my own document, right? I want to document like how I changed. I know a lot of people out there that know me probably know that I'm doing 75 Hard. So I'm like, just want to throw out there, man, like tomorrow is my last day and then I'm done. I'm done, man. So I complete 75 Hard. But the grind doesn't stop. You know, that effort doesn't slow down, right? It's just going to be pointed, instead of doing these 10-mile runs and like eating meat, it's going to be pointed in a direction of hitting the gym harder than I ever have in my life and seriously consuming calories that I need to get bigger, put on size, chase my bodybuilding goals in the future. So, with that being said, that's all I really got, man. It's a simple thing. It's a 5-step process. Do it for 75 days. Some days you're going to be sore. Some days, and I learned this in the military, it's a roller coaster, man. You're going to have a week where you kind of hate life, where every day feels like it's 3 days long. And then you're going to have weeks where you feel like $1 million, like you're flying on wings of eagles and shit, you know, like the Bible says. And 3 weeks is going to fly by like 2 days. You know, it's crazy. So basically all I have to leave you with is just be yourself and improve every day. Improve every single day. I'm proof that it's real. All right. So you can do it. Get after it. Peace.